right, buddy. Welcome to. Hold on a second. Welcome to Arsenal Fan Circle. Welcome to the Sunday show. Pull up a chair. You are all welcome here. And, I wanted to take a moment to reflect back on 5 years of Arsenal Fan Circle channel. And a big thank you to everyone who has been involved, everyone who has been on these shows with me on the panels, everybody who's been in the passenger seats, sitting back there in the chat room, making comments, just generally adding to the community and adding to the vibe of the channel. And the channel is a reflection of those who are watching it, not just me. It's not just Mahir, not just Stan, Gary, Tony, Sam, Alonso, anyone who's been on the show over the years. It's not just a reflection on the people who've been up here bringing you content each and every week. So, yeah, a little bit of a shout out to the people who have helped me along the way. And that Alex from Cannon Fodder is in the chat box right now. So Alex has been a big help over the years as well. And, congratulations to the success of other podcasts out there. But we've always just done this because we like to talk about the Arsenal. Welcome, Stan.
I'm doing it because you pay me.
Shh.
But those checks still haven't cleared. So talk about that and address that.
Blue M&Ms. Yeah, listen, there is a small matter of business to be dealt with. Stan, you're just perpetuating the thoughts that people think that, you get paid handsomely for being on YouTube.
If only.
If only. So we look. We're a grassroots podcast. We're not one of the Arsenal royalty. We're not part of that crew that moves in circles.
No, we're in that. If this was a football league, we'd be one of those teams that's usually hanging in there and fighting off relegation every season.
Yeah, we're in Norwich City, right? We continually go up and get relegated the next season. We're a Luton town. All of the above, you know what I mean? But it's been enjoyable over the years. This is not a final podcast by any means. By the way, I'm talking here. It's been enjoyable over the years, and we shall continue to do it for as long as we enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
But there you go. We're not high tech. We're grassroots. We don't have the flashy stuff, Gary has provided the intro. Stan provides those. What do you call those? Cards. You call the cards
my devil advocate cards.
Devil advocate cards. So everybody brings something to the table, you know what I mean? And it's about having fun at the end of the day. So listen, we come here twice a week to have some fun. Hello everyone, and happy holidays, BX Gunner. And look, it was 5 years ago. I had some spare time coming up to the 23rd of December. I said, you know what? We watch other content, so why not provide some of our own? We all have our own opinions, Stan, on the Arsenal and wider things in life. Mr. Tom said, congratulations, 5 years, Ray and your team. Yeah, listen, it's not just me, it's everybody that's here. It's in it as well. So hope my here is doing well. I think he tried to contact me yesterday. But eye points. Nemeth, no, I'm not dealing with eye points, but thanks for being here, Nemeth. I hope you and the crew have 5 more years, Ray. Thank you, Alex. Tybes in the house. And Riddy. Congrats on 5 years of quality Arsenal content. I don't know if it was quality, but, we provided 2 slots each and every week. Some shows are better than others, Stan.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been a part of the channel now for, is it maybe 4 years?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, for quite a while, yeah.
It doesn't feel like 4 years.
No.
It feels like 400. It's flown by, It has kind of flown by. And since we've been on this channel reporting on Arsenal, we've had a lot of lows as well. It's
Yes.
only now that
Yes.
really over the last couple of seasons that we've kind of like been able to have a lot of good times. But in those beginning years, there was a lot of lows, wasn't there?
Yeah, we started out.
We were kind of the club was a little bit rudderless.
Yes.
In the direction it was going. It didn't quite know whether it wanted to have a new owner or not, or still have a board, or have one person with all of the shares. It was kind of like didn't really know what it wanted. They just replaced the big man. And as we've seen with Manchester United, when you have a big legacy manager that's really important to the club, it can be difficult to replace because Manchester United are still trying to find a decent replacement for Alex Ferguson, and it seems like the search is still continuing for them.
Yeah.
We were lucky, we had a small detour with Unai Emery, and I think it's always going to be difficult to be the man that follows the man. Perhaps if Unai Emery had come in at a different juncture, maybe his tenure at Arsenal would have panned out in a different way. But it seems like we've managed to get it right on the second go. Which ain't too bad when you look at Manchester United. I mean, how many of it has it been? I mean, I'm running out of fingers and toes to count how many managers they've had in their revolving door, and it looks like the door is still revolving with Ten Hag. But we seem to have found a little bit of what's what I'm looking for. We found some equilibrium,
Stability,
and some stability, and it seems to me that. At long last, everybody connected to Arsenal, from the playing staff, right up to the ownership and the fans as well. We all seem to be on the same page. You're always going to get those curmudgeons who are never satisfied with anything. It doesn't matter where we are in the league or how well we're doing. You're always going to get those stick in the muds that it's never going to be good enough, and their platforms are kind of like based around the negative side anyway, and that's how those channels thrive. But I think on the whole, those channels notwithstanding, I think on the whole, everybody seems to sort of be on the same page and moving in the same direction, which is a good thing for the state of our club.
I'm invited Jack from the Anfield TV as well to join me for about 20 minutes. I don't know if he's going to make it. I know this is Christmas Eve, and I hope everybody has a great Christmas.
Well, hopefully it'll be the 20 minutes where I have to leave to eat my cooked breakfast, which is going to be arriving soon.
I told you to have it before, Stan. It's in the contract.
I know. I was in the kitchen whipping my missus with the bullwhip, to get it cooked before the show. But unfortunately, she didn't quite manage it, Ray. So
definitely step away
later on about that.
Stan, step away at any time they want. I've invited Tom to join us also.
I'm definitely off then.
The usual envoys have been sent out to Sam, Gary, Tony, Alonso. So if they want to join in as well, do drop in.
Yeah, but Alonso will join when there's only like 2 minutes left of the show, right? So we're not at that place yet.
I thought there's no NASCAR, so I thought there'd be a perfect seasonal position for Alonso to join us, you know what I mean? But look, much like you referenced Unai Emery, it depends on the team that he has with him to provide a quality product on the field. And Unai Emery did not have that 5 years ago when we started out. We had a couple of bad eggs, bad characters. I'll say the same thing for this channel. If it wasn't for the quality people that have come and joined the Arsenal fan circle, you being one of them, Stan, Mahir as well, Gary, who now has an empire of podcasts to maintain, and Tony as well. We hope Tony's doing well in this time as well, and Alonso also. So
I imagine Gary gets up every morning in his huge tower, stretches, opens the window, and just looks out and surveys his podcast, his podcast,
his podcast territory. As far as
he's taken over my mantle, because once upon a time that was me, wasn't it? I was the brand, if you remember, many moons ago.
That's true. You were.
And then I put my slippers on and handed the torch to Gary. Gary's all over the gaff, mate, isn't he?
He puts himself out there. He's got time, and he's gonna take advantage of it. Don't forget Mr. Tom over at 9 o'clock UK time. He will be talking about Leeds as well, and a good weekend for Leeds. 4-0 against
Really? Who
Ipswich
do they
Town.
play? Who do they
They
play?
beat Ipswich Town. They were 10 points behind Ipswich. Ipswich second place.
They're
Leicester
not bad score.
leading.
4-0. Not
Leeds
bad.
in third place. There was a 10-point gap. They narrowed it to 4 points or 7 points, sorry. And, let's see if they can hunt Leicester down because there's 2 automatic promotion spots. And Tom does not want to be involved in a playoff in the spring, you know,
Yeah.
which I understand from the way he's talking. Leeds do not do well with playoffs in the past. You know what I mean? Hello, Tybe. Hope everybody's doing well. Listen, Ryan over there is doing his iCoins. We're not doing that over here. Not going to get involved in the points Ponzi schemes. Definitely, we're low tech, high intelligence over here, not high tech stuff. Okay, BXA joined 2 years ago, and this is one of the favorite times. Just lucky that we picked 2 p.m. on Sundays. We settle into that slot, and 8:40 on Thursdays. And it works for some, it doesn't work for others. At the time on Thursday, I was thinking we had a couple of people from the Southern Hemisphere, Australia especially.
Well,
I
hold on a
think
minute.
Piston.
Hold on a minute. I've taken a beating in the center of the ring, and I can see Tom's hand. He stood at the corner turnbuckle with his hand stretched out for me to crawl over in a very Shawn Michaels way, with my hair flowing. And I've just jumped up and I've just managed to touch Tom's fingers, and I'm tagging him in now because my breakfast is here.
All right.
So I'm going to tag out, and hopefully Mr. Tom is going to come in on a tornado tag and rip the house down.
How can you not grab that link now, Tom? Come on. It's nestling right there in your inbox, Tom. Point away against Liverpool is always welcome, especially when we are top at Christmas. Yeah, Arsenal have the number 1 record. Top of the pops right now, Christmas time. But we all know, right? It's not at Christmas that counts. It's not number 1 at Christmas counts. That's what happened to us last year. Okay, Tom did reach out the hand. Stan, you can tag me in when it's food time. There are more than 2 spots here as well. So if more people want, they can fill in as well. Alonso is the most underrated panel member. True. Alonso brings some good stuff at times, I wonder if Alonso noises will be Christmassy. Alonso's Christmas noises on Spotify. He does bring some background noises with him, on the soundtrack. Abdilatif. Hopefully I pronounced that well. How are you, Guy? Big up. Right back at you. When it's Gary, it's an empire. Terrific achievement. Congratulations to Leeds. Yeah, 4-0 against Ipswich. He's got to be happy. And you know what? Arsenal fans in here, Christmas is not cancelled. Christmas is not ruined. We got a point at Liverpool, and we'll talk about that momentarily. But yeah, it's been 5 years of the channel. We are into our 6th season. We'd started halfway through. The first year was about Unai Emery, as I mentioned. I suppose the channel got caught up in that. We got caught up in the 24 games unbeaten or whatever it was under Unai Emery, and they said it was not sustainable. So based off of that, this channel was born, and thinking about the title, a circle brings security in old times, strong links, and inclusive as well. So these are all the things. Sir, what are we calling you now? Lord Greenwood? Is that your official title, Sam?
No, that's my cousin. I'm just normal Sam.
But you are from a long line of Greenwoods, right?
I'm from a very long line of Greenwoods, very, very long.
How are you doing today, Sam?
I'm good, thank you, Ray. Nice to see you. I
Good.
thought I'd pop on. It's been a while, and pop on and wish everyone Merry Christmas and have a little Arsenal chat for a little while. As you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hope you're enjoying your Christmas period, and everyone else in the chat as well.
You know what? It's been busy. It's been a busy time of work for me, and it's been a busy time getting gifts and all that. So I feel like we do a lot of running around, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a very busy and stressful time, really, isn't it? Christmas until you get to that Christmas day.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying.
And then if you're gonna have turkey, you get to have some turkey, and you get.
You got turkey lined up, Ray?
No, I got some prime rib for tomorrow lined up.
Oh wow, that sounds great. That sounds
the
lovely.
in-laws. Yeah, exactly. They don't do the traditional ham and turkey over here, Sam.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I thought they did a lot of turkey in America.
What's on the card? What's on the card for you, Sam?
Yeah, we're doing turkey. Very traditional
Ham
in my family with turkey. Yeah, so it's gonna be a nice turkey tomorrow.
It's more of a Thanksgiving. Turkey.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, you probably since in America, there you have your Thanksgiving at the end of November with a turkey. I suppose it makes sense. You probably don't want to have it just a month later.
Yeah.
So
I miss that traditional. Coming from Ireland originally, it's the turkey and ham. Cutting up some ham to have some ham sandwiches with that brown sauce.
I'm used to Norway. Norway we don't have turkey in Norway. Norway have like a pork rib. We have a pork rib and like some. It's a very traditional. You make these like meatballs from like homemade meatballs, normally from, a nice sort of sauce of beef or something like that. It's really nice. That's very Norwegian.
All right, cool. I had probably the misperception that a lot of fish was involved.
Yeah, you can. A lot of Norwegians do have fish. They'll have a smoked like a smoked salmon or a smoked haddock or something like that as an alternative to the meats. And of course, you have the famous for dessert. Normally, it's for dessert or not a dessert. Really, it's more like a starter. Really, for many people, is the famous lutefisk, as it's called, which is like a fermented fish jelly. Fish in jelly. I hate it. It's disgusting. It's one of those you have to grow up with to sort of like, it's really acquired taste. I don't like it at all. But
I was wondering what the way you were describing it, if you had grown fond of it. So.
Oh, no way. I could never. I didn't grow up with it because I moved to Norway in my early teens. I didn't grow up with it, and I tasted it a few times. Oh, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's basically fermented fish in like a jelly, like a blank, white jelly, and it's horrible.
There's probably more traditional pastries as well.
Yeah, they do. They like a bit of pastry, that's for sure. But the traditional stuff is that you'll have a bit of that lutefisk, where you have there's a porridge. They have like a type of porridge as well for starters, which is nice, which is like a rice based porridge it's quite sweet. You'll have like with cinnamon and butter and sugar on that. That's actually quite nice. You'll have that as an alternative to that lutefisk, because that lutefisk is absolutely horrible.
Taking a risk here, merging Sam and Tom into this lineup could be a little bit risky. Who knows what could happen? But
Tom's an Arsenal fan. He hasn't admitted it yet, but he is an Arsenal fan.
Could be fireworks.
He is on more Arsenal channels than Arsenal fans.
That's because I think most Leeds fans are idiots.
Breaking away, the rebel.
How are you doing, Tom? You got your show a little bit later?
I have. So do apologise if it seems I'm trailing off. I've not finished my show. So actually, no. Let me tell that another way. That sounds really unprofessional. It is ready, but I'm a perfectionist, and if I see something that I've got to add to it, I'm going to add it, and I'll see multiple things that I need to add to it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was in the middle of writing cards out, and then when I heard Stan's doing his tagging out and stuff, I was like, all right, I'll go help Ray out so he's not sat on his own. And as I was unspooling the internet wire, yeah, I used the word spool on the internet. I was in 2023. I was unspooling everything, and then Sam was on. I was like, oh, okay, I could have slowed that down a bit, but
all right. Listen, do not forget to join Tom at 4:00 Eastern time, 9 p.m. UK time.
Yeah,
right?
It's good stuff.
90
it's good
minutes
stuff.
left. It's flashy.
Despite what you may think of me, it's good stuff.
I don't know. You called it flashy stuff yourself, so you have admitted. You have admitted it's more flashy than good.
Tom does a good job with that show. Yeah.
Well, I meant because at the actual time, let's get out of the way. The usual thing is when I actually wrote that 38 minutes ago, it was within the context of you saying
the show has not been 38 minutes long.
It's felt 38. It's felt 38 minutes long, all right. But in all truth, you said something along the lines of. It was like we ain't flashy here. That was probably what you said. To which then I immediately light bulb went off in my head and was like, "Well, come join my show if you want flashy stuff." It's not flashy though.
The Tom Loves Gate Crashing Ray shows. Ray, you got to do something. What can I do to him? You know what I mean? He's all right. He's all right. At the end of the day, you got to say he's all right. He's the
best I can expect for in life is I'm all right.
Hey, if you attain that status, that's as good as you can get.
I'm doing well. Oh, hello, Stefan. Do you want a link to my show tonight?
Yeah.
Good old Stefan. Good old Stefan.
Yeah, so listen.
He's already subscribed to it. He knows.
Stefan, you're in second place. You're 7 points ahead of Leeds. Hopefully Christmas is not ruined for you because of what happened yesterday.
I don't want to ruin his Christmas.
No.
That was never my intention. I have no interest in ruining his Christmas. Rangers ruined his Christmas with their 2-0 win today.
I see.
But we also did ruin it because we stuck 4 goals past them. For the second time this season.
Yeah. Nice. So Leeds are the Ipswich kryptonite, you know?
Yeah,
you know what? Tactically, I can tell you why it happened, right? It's because Leeds had this revolutionary concept of why don't we actually just try and score loads of goals past Ipswich? Whereas a lot of teams in the Championship are like, if we go 1-0 up on Ipswich, why don't we just sit on our lead and allow Ipswich to come at us for the next 83 minutes? It's revolutionary. How about we score and then just try and score again?
Yeah, it is revolutionary.
It really is. I'm surprised more teams haven't tried it against them.
Sounds like a very good tactic, Tom, that one. It sounds awesome.
It really is. Tell the other 22 managers in the Championship.
I don't think anyone's heard of that tactic before.
And another tactic that really is employing is that third person question. You know, did someone predict a 1-1 draw on Thursday night?
I've got a suspicion here. Usually in my experience, when someone says something very specific about the past tense, it's usually because they said it. So I got my suspicions that a certain gentleman named, let's just say, if he was a James Bond character, he'd go, the name's Gunnar, Canterbury Gunnar.
Yeah,
he wouldn't, because the villains don't introduce themselves like
it does seem like an evil name, right? Canterbury.
I want you to die, Mr. Bond.
No, Mr. Bond.
I will send you to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, I think Reddy may have predicted a 1-1 draw on Thursday night. You know, we'll see. Chris said no team in history has ever scored more than 1 goal until yesterday. Leeds are onto something. Yeah,
I told you we've changing the way the game is played.
Something Arsenal struggled with, we thought, last season. You know, when we got to that point of stop playing after a 1-0 lead. But there you go. These things happen.
It's beautiful.
So just finished last minute shopping, picked up Starbucks, and I'm settled in for the show. See, people are working right up to the last seconds.
How many grannies have you scammed, VX?
I was literally about to say it. So So you can afford. We've established you can afford Starbucks on a Sunday night when you're in an industry where you can charge prices based on how vulnerable your customers look.
I may be a little bit behind on this storyline, so I don't know if I want you to expand on that to clue me in a bit more. But
We're just joshing with him. That's all. We know he's a good man. Really, he's probably the only one in that industry that would be. And I base that solely off the fact that he sends me funny videos on Instagram.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else festive related, Sam or Tom, before we get into this highbrow analysis of Arsenal yesterday?
I love the photo you put up.
Me?
Yeah, you.
You
put a photo up with your Arsenal fan circle tweet of the 52 Liverpool players charging down on your goal and not scoring.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It was great. Chelsea tried it this afternoon with similar results.
We got away. We just got away with that one, right?
We got away with that one, yeah.
Sam, what do you think? I mean,
Trent didn't score, did he? He hit the crossbar.
The legend of Declan.
Zinchenko, out of God knows what he was doing out where he was when he fell over and got in the way of Odegaard, and they countered.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank God it was Trent and not Salah who got that chance, eh?
You see, I think that's the beauty of what Declan Rice did. He played the percentages pretty well there. He went.
Well, he wasn't. I mean, he was charging down, but he wasn't close enough to block the shot. So
no, but he was watching
there.
But he was watching Mohamed Salah first and foremost.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he was doing what he could, but I'm saying he didn't. I don't think he affected what Arnold, Trent Alexander-Arnold did. I don't think he affected that, but he did an amazing job, of course.
Yeah, I mean that's why I say the legend of Rice.
Oh, he's amazing, absolutely amazing, isn't he? He's the best, by far our best player so far this season, I would say.
The only thing I would say is like when Mohamed Salah scores 97.6597 percentage points of Liverpool's goals, then you want to maybe stop him first and foremost and have him pass it to someone else. And
you think so? You think he'd probably want to take that chance himself, but he couldn't really because there were others in a better position. So.
Stan, it was a little bit like Charge of the Light Brigade there when Liverpool broke for that Trent chance in the second half.
Yeah. While I was having my breakfast, you guys were probably talking. You were talking. That's why we're here, right? You went to sat there in silence, waiting for me to.
We were just.
I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I said that. But what I'm trying to say is, you probably each had your sort of like little take on the game. You know, a little 2-minute on the game. My feeling on the game was, although it's kind of, we've gone to Anfield and we've come away with a point there, and you can, and we did play well, and it was a battle of a game. There is a part of me that has come away feeling a little bit sad that we weren't able to go to Anfield and be, and come away with a decisive win with all 3 points. Because I think if we were able to do that, I think not only for the players but also for the fans, I think it would have put down a marker and given everybody a lot more confidence going into the next part of the season. Yes. Sort of like, look what we've just been able to accomplish. We've gone to Liverpool and we've come away. We schooled them. We came away with like a 3-1 win, something like that would have been a nice marker. But, maybe I'm wishing for the moon a little bit. And I know that we should be satisfied with getting a point from Anfield and the manner that we won it. I thought it was a good game. But there is a part of me that really wanted to come away with decisive, all 3 points locked up in the bag.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to go there with chest and win the game comfortably. I thought we had large periods of the game, a lot of domination. When you look back on it, you'll see maybe Martinelli or Saka didn't pick the right pass. Even Gabriel Jesus in the first half. If you don't slash the ball over the bar, check back, you have another opportunity to find an Arsenal player. When we were breaking on them, the one where Saka is played inside of Gomez, through on Alisson, and Gomez is holding on to Saka a little bit, but the ball comes to Martinelli. And I have to ask the question as well about it seemed to be a lot of water on the pitch, or was that playing in the game? Did any of you feel that way about it? There was a lot of players slipping.
Yeah, I think so. I think it definitely affected our game, and they played with it to their advantage. That's something quite a lot of teams do. They will prepare the field for their advantage, and that's definitely what happened to them yesterday.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as the referee can inspect the pitch and pass it playable. And
you can see. I didn't see till I was watching some of the post game analysis on some feeds on Twitter, and I didn't notice then really how much the ball was actually slowing down when it was. I couldn't really see it that well in the game, but when you see it afterwards in replays and stuff, you could see how much the ball was actually slowed down by that waterlogged pitch. So it definitely affected our play. Our passing was off because of it.
Yeah, and like you said, it's up to the. Go ahead.
I suppose as well as the opposition, if you go to another ground and you don't know how they've really set their pitch up, and we've seen it before, haven't we? Some teams will go out before the game and sprinkle the pitch. They drive the tractor thing when all the water's coming out. And if you're the opposition, and I suppose you're not aware of that, is there a case of maybe you've got the wrong studs in, and you find that it's affecting you, and you're finding that it's like a bit like being on an ice skating rink, whereas the team who have got the water and have probably the correct studs and get a little bit more purchase, a little bit more grip.
Definitely. That was definitely the case yesterday, because we saw a lot of slipping yesterday because there was far more water. There was definitely far more water on that pitch than what is normal.
It had to be between the warm-ups and when they went back into the dressing room just before kickoff.
Yeah, they probably sprayed loads extra on then.
Jammy bastards.
That's what they bloody do, isn't it? That's what they do.
But it is up to the prerogative of the manager, the home manager.
Yeah, it's allowed. It's allowed, So
how they want to set the pitch up to their advantage a little bit.
I mean, we used to do it. I mean, we used to do that. We used to do that a lot at Highbury. We didn't waterlog the pitch, but we definitely sprayed the pitch a lot just before kickoff because we wanted the ball to move fast. We sprayed it so the ball would move quickly. So you were used to that lightning quick ball, whereas the other teams it was too quick for the other teams coming to visit.
Yeah.
As Rady said, the bounce on the surface resulting in Trent hitting the bar there. Liverpool's own medicine. Maybe a little bit of a bobble there as well. I didn't get a good enough connection. But, you'd like to think if one of our players got into a situation like that somebody like a Trossard would be able to finish that off. And, Liverpool, they will talk about the Odegaard handball, and we'll discuss that. But definitely, if you didn't get the decision for the penalty, which I probably would have felt aggrieved about if it had happened to us, you know what I mean?
Well, the Odegaard
he's stooping down, he's leaning back, he's off balance, but his hands are by his feet, Stan.
But I heard the rule. I think that one of the sort of post-match things I was listening to, they said that the rules say that if you're falling down and your arm is in a place where it's to steady yourself to break your fall, and the ball hits it, they don't count that as a handball.
Yeah, that's correct. That's factually correct.
Was he falling down, or was he a little bit off balance?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's what they're trying to.
Falling, didn't you?
That was. I think that's what was difficult to tell whether he was actually just a little bit off balance or he was actually falling, because that's where the decision lies. And I've seen so many, different neutral people, and sources say it should have been a penalty, far more than saying it shouldn't. I think it's just one of those we have to accept. Maybe it just went our way for once.
We will gladly accept that, Sam. We will gladly accept that.
Also, when Jesus went crashing into one of their players, and they were trying to get something out of that, and you saw the referee demonstrate. He actually said he slipped and he put his foot up off the ground, which just shows you how wet the pitch must be. That if you're running in and you're trying to stop, the pitch was so logged that he went smashing into him and he went up in the air. He couldn't even, he couldn't stop his momentum.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
So Tom, from a neutral viewpoint, you calling that a penalty or not a penalty?
Not a chance. The fact that Liverpool have gone all out to claim there's cheating afoot based on it not being given tells me that it was probably the correct decision.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they like to complain.
Indeed.
Always the victims. Always.
Waterlogged. They waterlogged the pitch to stop us playing our passing game.
Oh, that's
Klopp
clever.
was- Yeah.
That's
You
If
use
you're
every
not-
advantage you can. That's one advantage you can have.
if you're not
Use
leaning
every
into the
tool that's
small
available, right?
margins, yeah. If you are not trying to lean into the small margins in elite football, you are negligent to your own team as such.
Klopp was constantly in the face of the fourth official all game. Imagine if that was Arteta for even 5 minutes. Was that Mikel Arteta on our sideline? Or was that like a restrained and gagged Mikel?
He's definitely a lot more restrained now after his sideline, his touchline ban. He's definitely holding himself back a lot more.
Yeah.
If he has another fight with Klopp, then he gets the reputation, doesn't he?
Yeah. Very good, Mikel. And all smiles at the end. You get out of there with a point. Jurgen's not so happy, probably. Martinelli needs more competition on the left, someone more than Trossard.
I think Trossard did well yesterday when he came on, to be honest. He very lively.
And to be fair, I thought Martinelli had a decent game as well.
The thing with Martinelli is, and I've said this so many times before, and it just keeps...
Yeah.
I have to keep repeating myself. He's just the end product. It's so disappointing, the end product with Martinelli. He does so well, but then he'll just pick the wrong pass. He won't be able to shoot correctly. He misses the target. If he had a really good final ball, or he could actually hit the target, he'd probably be the best player in the world. Because he gets himself into so many good positions. He speeds away on the left like no one's business. But every time he does that, I just feel like, oh yeah, I know, yeah, he's doing a good job. You just know nothing's going to come from it. 9 times out of 10, nothing's going to come from it every time he does that.
Yeah. I'm going to stick a pin in the conversation for really one quick second to talk about Rebel Moon. I watched it. If ever there was a knockoff of Star Wars, this is it.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what it is, Ray. That's exactly what it is, Ray. Zack Snyder, he pitched it to Lucas Films or whatever as a Star Wars, a script for a Star Wars film. But I think what he done is that I think they looked at it and saw that, well, you basically just copied Star Wars here. So no, we're not taking it. So then he's now sold it to Netflix. And Zack Snyder says, yeah, this was my pitch for Star Wars. I've not seen it yet. I'm going to watch it tonight. The reviews say it's bad, but my friends who have seen it online say that they enjoyed it. So
it's all right. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I think a common thing you'll see is a lot of people that feel like no one will read their articles unless they are known for slagging things off. Will just not like most things. But then the actual people it's made for might well enjoy it, as in the audience.
Have you seen it, Tom?
I've no idea, but I've not. No, you would all probably be upset if you heard what I watched today. As part of my Christmas ritual, I go to the cinema on the morning of
Is it PG?
Yeah. Oh, it's not a porno theatre, Ray. Come on, anyway,
you got to bloke in raincoats.
Yeah. Those raincoats are quite pricey at the moment.
Sure be hats.
But they're surprisingly expensive. No, I had to watch the Polar Express. I've never seen it before.
Oh, my wife was watching it a little while ago. Yeah, I've seen it.
I'd never seen it. I thought, all right, it's all right. It's not.
Tom Hanks.
It's not changed the game. Let's just say
Tom
it's Tom
Hanks.
Hanks. Yeah, he plays like half the characters, like not literally half, but all the main characters, apart from the little boy, are basically Tom Hanks in a costume or a CGI costume.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. Like I didn't come out of it feeling dirty that I'd watched it. But
no, it's a completely normal holiday Christmas movie to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the way you pitched it, Tom. Not the way you just pitched it.
Well, that was kind of a plan, but no. In all seriousness, no. Basically, I haven't had time for Rebel Moon but if I do, I'll probably check it out. I don't know.
All right, well, it's okay.
Is it Netflix or Disney?
Netflix.
Netflix.
There is another part coming in April, so you have plenty of time between now and April.
I'll wait till April. I'll wait till April. Watch them back to back. It's fine.
Is it in a good
Probably
way?
best. It's decent. It's all right. It's watchable. You know what I mean?
BX loves it.
I wanted to say on the back of what Stan was saying about pitching it as Star Wars. The actual thought there in my head was pitching it as a Star Wars knockoff is interesting because nothing has actually ripped off Star Wars more than Star Wars. Because even the latest trilogy is basically the same movies as the original trilogy. They've just swapped. It's basically like the generation on of characters doing the same things.
Which movies?
Star Wars.
The later trilogy.
Of what?
You're right.
It's Kylo Ren.
It's the same. It's literally the same plot structure as the original trilogy, but instead of it being Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's Han Solo on the bridge. Spoiler. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
But these are generational storylines.
Also,
but really,
Ray defending it as usual.
The Empire
really, it's just laziness.
The Empire seems to have a huge warehouse full of Death Stars somewhere. If I see another Death Star, it's like fucking hell.
Why don't they do a scene? I'll bet because when they do the next trilogy, because there will be, because it's like printing money at this point. And they don't really care if the audience don't like it because no one hates Star Wars more than fans of Star Wars. So that just doesn't matter at this point. And there needs to be a scene where they have the engineer in a room and like Darth Sidious, Palpatine, whatever he calls himself, is going to turn around and go, now you're absolutely certain this cannot be destroyed by the protagonist with just one shot of a laser cannon or something like that. You're certain.
Do you know what I was just thinking about? And this is one of the oldest Star Wars movie, A New Hope, the first one. Why didn't you just blow up the first moon that was obstructing the view to the rebel moon? You know what I mean? They had to wait 30 minutes for a clear shot.
Yeah.
Han also clearly didn't shoot first. I'm just saying.
I'm sure there's some explanation out there.
Well, all they had to do was shoot a laser down the fucking air conditioning vent, and that was it. All done.
Yeah.
A great design.
Joining the Star Wars fan circle.
Yeah, listen, we digress a little bit, but what better time to digress than December 24th? You know what I mean? Christmas Eve. And, you know, I don't want to be always perceived as a stuffy, go minute by minute review of an Arsenal game as I get accused.
A bit late for that, right?
Not accused of. I openly say you do that.
A little bit later. A little bit late. I have notes, Stan, but I'm not using them.
Don't worry, Ray. You didn't achieve peak douchiness when Gary. I had to sit through the trip where Gary ran through the match backwards. He literally started at the end of the match and went through it in reverse order.
He did a memento.
And also, we need to have a debate about our goalkeepers because Tom loves that when we talk about Arsenal.
Oh my god! It killed my internet. It died. Right.
Well, at least I'm not on the bottom rung. You've just accused Gary.
No, it could be worse.
You said that now. I'm just when Gary watched this back, I'm just clarifying. You started this, Tom, here. But Gary, it was Tom.
The funniest part of it is I think Tony and Spencer were talking about it to him. And Gary went, "Oh, Tom was fine with it." They went, "What were you watching? He hated every second of it. What are you talking about?" It was written all over his. I was like, "I'm gonna try and be polite," but I was like, "Backwards."
All right. So
he should have divided it into a bingo balls and just went pick a ball out and go right. Let's talk about the 42nd minute.
Yeah.
Gary,
I did not start this, Gary.
Line up right at the very end.
What did I say? Address all of your complaints to P.O. Box, Mr. Tom.
P.O. Box, suck my dick.
Yeah, it'll definitely get there.
AKA that guy. That nut. Not these nuts, that nut. Right
Oh,
there.
brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, the postman will pull that letter out of his bag, see that address, suck my dick, and go, "Oh, another one from Mr. Tom."
This guy's very popular.
It's that Souk Madik, isn't he? He's in around.
Oh man. Although the best tackle, I gotta bring it back now. I gotta bring it back.
Oh,
Bring it back.
Ray, so
Bring it back.
naive. So naive. Bringing me in, putting with respect to Stan. You've given me and Sam Greenwood the link, and then you're like, we're gonna go through the plan, the itinerary. so naive, right?
Yeah, I did say that when I got Sam and Tom here. It's danger ahead. Put Stan in there that amplifies
It's like,
a little bit more.
it's like heart to heart, isn't it? You know, but heart to heart. I mean, those two got together.
It's
was
Moira. They go, well, which one is Stephanie Powers?
I can Robert Wagner to this.
Tom, I think you're Stephanie Powers.
You know we're losing viewers, right? You know we're losing viewers by the second.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, we're hanging on the stick.
No. As soon as I said I'd love to be Stephanie Powers, it went up about 14%.
Raise his eyebrow.
Yeah.
I bet he has a red wig somewhere.
Like, let's see where this is going to go.
No, it's unfortunately it's a black wig in the style of Austin Powers.
That makes Stan Max. You're the chauffeur, right? All right. Although the best tackle of the night was by Tsimikas on Klopp. Listen, Liverpool fans are gonna post these memes about what Saka did, but Saka's just being as physical with fullbacks that he's getting, right? You know what I mean?
Love that look. I just love that look Klopp gave him when Klopp was toppled there, and he just there's like a, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. Listen, Saka does not go out to aim to hurt players, you know what I mean? But he's got to protect his position on the field, protect the ball. And Tsimikas is going to come at him at a strange angle.
Tsimikas is lucky he didn't bite him. If he'd have bit him, he'd be dead. He'd have cleaned his head right off his shoulders.
They're saying he possibly broke his collarbone there in that.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So if it's conditions based, if not, whatever, you know what I mean? It's also Saka trying to protect himself from being fouled. I thought Tsimikas was getting very close to being on the yellow card anyway. He had a couple of usual challenges on the
He's a mediocre player. He is, that Tsimikas.
Yeah, exactly. But Jurgen, it was a pretty good dive from Jurgen.
Jurgen dived.
This handball thing should be clarified into an actual stipulated rule. Having games decided by refs, discretion isn't really on. But
I didn't think it was discretion. I thought it just is a known thing.
Yeah,
I thought it was a law that you don't get done for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different. The handball law is all over the place at the moment. It's
well, no, because there was one last week in the I know it's the championship, but basically where Leeds had a penalty shout based on that. But even me personally, I was just like, well, he's obviously trying to steady himself. Like, if this gets given as a penalty, it's nonsense, and it's going to come back round on you tenfold. So just get on with the game.
Yeah.
We didn't even appeal it, really, if I remember rightly. It was just, all right, well, we ain't going to get it.
I'll be kicking myself. I'd be kicking myself had Villa been top of the table, so it's all good right now. Look, it's nice. It's nice being top of the table right now, but there's only one time that it's going to really matter, and that's the last 38 game of the season. You know what I mean?
A lot of football to be played.
A lot of football to be played.
We're only halfway.
Yeah. Aston Villa, maybe they've hit that sort of emotional peak of beating us, beating Man City. I feel like we have been not that clinical. We could have been more clinical yesterday, and we could have been more clinical against Aston Villa. And unfortunately, Arsenal have only got 4 points now from the last 3 games. So we have a run of games now, especially these two coming up to the break. West Ham on Thursday and Fulham away, where we need a full 6 points.
I'll give you some birthday luck. Don't worry, you'll win.
Yeah. After
After
that loss against Villa, a comprehensive win against Brighton, and now a draw at Liverpool. We'll take it.
It's just pure Barclays. That's all I can say. Villa beat Arsenal and Man City. I think, was it back to back? I can't remember.
It was.
Yeah. City first, and then us.
Yeah. Right, fair enough. But they get that 6 points, and then they get one against the team at bottom. That's why the Premier League is like as the selling point of like this is a competitive league. Even though we know you tend to get the same teams up there, they can still sell it as anything can happen because you just had a team out of nowhere beat the 2 of the top teams, and then not beat the bottom team.
Yeah.
But almost, I think with Aston Villa, I think they're in a situation where we are a little bit where you've got a competitive first 11 that can, give a good account of themselves to most teams in the league. But beyond that, it starts to get a little bit iffy. Your supporting cast, and I think, they've got maybe a strong first 11, but not squad. And I think we have a little bit of that as well. Whereas you look at a Liverpool, that was a difference as well. You look at Liverpool yesterday with some of the subs they bring on. They bring on Nunes, do you know what I mean? And like we're bringing on like Eddie. It's just, it's for me, that's there's a big gap there in what we're doing and what they're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the game state at the time, Eddie actually played a little bit better due to the game state, I thought, at the time.
Having him come on and run around for 10 minutes is always going to help because he's got that high intensity.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do a good job for 10 minutes. But I don't really agree on the squad thing. I mean, I think our squad is just as good as Liverpool's. I mean, apart from Nunes, the rest of their squad is dross, really. They've got these kids, got loads of kids coming on.
Injuries are a big thing now. They've got another injury in Tsimikas. Robertson's out.
I'll see what Stan's saying though, because the actual, the thought out in my head was if John McGinn got injured tomorrow, Villa would be fucked.
Yeah,
because they literally just lose the heartbeat of their entire everything they do goes through that man, and then usually to Watkins. If they lose either one of them, they are fucked. And also, you're seeing it with Newcastle, as Stan said. Newcastle finished top 4, but they lose. I admit they've been hit with the injury bug, but by the same token, they should still be getting a result at Luton.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad they didn't.
In the Championship, Tom, is there going to be a winter break as well in January?
Absolutely not.
No, because you got like 85 games to play, right?
They've got like 46 games, haven't they?
Absolutely not. No, the best you can hope for is you're still in the FA Cup. So then the fixture works out that the team you're against is in the replay or whatever it is. So like you might have the Saturday off, but generally,
right. Okay, it is tough.
Or the best you could hope for, and it's not really the best, is like you go out in the 3rd round and then you don't play on 4th round weekend.
Yeah.
But good luck to Peterborough.
I get it. Sam, we're gonna meet this Liverpool team again. We'll
January.
In January in the FA Cup. I think it's a great position in the fixtures for us because it's like a final game before the break. Before AFCON, before maybe Tommy Asu, if he's fit, goes off to play in I think there's an Asian Cup as well out there.
Oh,
right.
How long is the winter break?
2 weeks. We're back on the 20th of January.
Right,
so from the 7th to the 20th, about 13 days.
Are they still doing it in the way where half the teams get a week off and then the other half get the next week off?
I'm not sure.
That's how they initially intended to structure the mid-season break. But then literally after that one season they did it, COVID hit. So obviously everything went out the window.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No, I I think they're
They
going to
do
want
want a
their
week.
players. I mean, right after that FA Cup game, those international sides are going to want their players. The African players are going to go.
But yeah, in
Tom-
terms of us
I
against
love
Liverpool,
AFCON.
in terms of us
I love
against
AFCON.
Liverpool,
Sorry.
at home.
Sorry.
I was going to say at home us against Liverpool. That's we've got to be winning that game in the FA Cup. It's as simple as that.
We're at that point now, right?
Just got to be winning. Just got to be winning that game. You know, there's no excuses. That's it.
Yeah,
Do you know
we're
my
at that point
favourite
now.
thing about AFCON is,
What?
I'll tell
What
you
are you
my
getting on
favourite
about
thing.
the fucking AFCON?
You just
I'll
like
tell you
that
my
phrase.
favourite thing about AFCON. Yeah, I love saying AFCON.
You've been sponsored today by the AFCON.
Yeah, I'm sponsored by African air conditioners. Yeah.
So every time we say AFCON, you're getting how much?
About
You know?
about 0.3 pence, but it adds up.
That means we're going to hear a lot more.
No, in all seriousness, my favourite thing about it is Leeds have no players going to it, and Leicester have about 5, and Ipswich have a few as well. So the longer those countries can stay in that tournament, good luck to you. I hope you get a medal. Oh, amazing! Go deep in the tournament.
Are the players are any of the Ipswich and Leicester players like any of the good teams,
key
like any of
players.
the favourites?
Yeah,
Oh, I
Pats
don't
and
know about
Daka, these types
I
of
don't know
they're
how
part
they
of,
play
like-
for, but
Because if they're part of like fucking Burkina Faso or something like that, they're not going to be there very long, are they?
Yeah.
I remember hearing of Burkina Faso, and because I'm an idiot, when I was about 9, I was like, "There's a country where everyone wears bikinis."
Bikini Faso.
But it's not. Turns out I misheard it.
First
And
time
I'm a
I heard
total moron. But
First time I heard Burkina Faso is because Fabrizio Romano said that we were going in strong for him.
The country. Mo Salah will be the Egyptian king. So come on, Egypt.
El Neni as well. El Neni will be there, I suppose.
Yep.
I was
He's not the
funny. I
Egyptian king,
was watching just talking about it. When I was watching the match, my missus was popping in and out, and me and my missus both agreed that every time the camera goes on Mohamed Salah, he looks like he's just come from walking through the desert for 40 days and 40 nights in a sandstorm. I can imagine he's probably got like a big stick like Moses, and he looks like he's just come from the desert with his hair and his mad beard, and he needs a drink.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's hope Egypt go far in that. And Mo Salah, who is scoring 97.659% of their goals right now.
it'd be terrible if they lost on a penalty shootout in the final again. It'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
To Sadio Mane's Cameroon.
I can't remember which of them won or lost, but
Yeah, I think it was Cameroon won last time around. Only 2 years ago, I think,
So
But,
can I just say as well,
yeah.
yesterday, right, when Gary was on his show, I think with Tom and I think Sam might have been there or in the chat.
Mhm.
We were talking. I think they were talking about the pre-match and the lineup, and I put in the chat box that I felt that our weak spot was Zinchenko, and a couple of people kind of agreed. I just wondered, like, as we watched these games over the last few games and yesterday, I just wondered what people's opinions were of Zinchenko, of what he's bringing to the game and what he's not bringing to the game, and if you think that left back is a position that we still need to somehow, it's not quite right. We seem a little bit undecided there. We seem to have a lot of choices, don't we? But either they're not available, like Tomiyasu and Timber, or we've got Zinchenko and Kiwior, and it seems like Kiwior is still not being given a lot of confidence yet by Mikel Arteta, and there's a lot of stories circling that he could be away. That he could be away, and we did hear stories quite early on that he was homesick, right? So I just wondered what people thought about our left back situation.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Yeah, I agree completely in terms of Zinchenko as a liability for us defensively. I've said so for quite a while now. He keeps making these mistakes defensively, game after game after game. But I think, like you say, I do hope. Well, I think and do hope that it's only temporary until we have Timber back and Tomiyasu back, who would definitely step in straight away instead of him. So I think it's like we're putting up with him until they're ready. But until they're ready, I think it's a bit of a shame, really, because Arteta seems to be prioritising the way he tactically seems to like to prioritise is what we do when we have the ball rather than not having the ball. I think he sees that we get so much out of Rice, Saliba, and Gabriel, and like the likes of Ben White, that we know he's not really that worried, I don't think, about that, which is a shame, because I think with Kivior playing these games, we would be a bit more stable defensively as well, even though, again, the argument is, and it's right factually as well, that defensively we are very, very good. We're the best team in the league defensively, and we have the fewest goal chances against us.
So does that mean we don't have a problem then?
All the stats are in our favour, but the problem is, you see the big mistakes that we have are mainly through him. That's the problem. And so for me, I'd rather have a Kivior in there and just let the guys who attack, do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just ask Sam now before Tom comes in? Because a lot of people say high risk, high reward. And, we kind of identified Zinchenko as a bit of a liability. But then, as Sam rightly says, then you look at the stats defensively for the league, and we're the best at it at the moment. Yeah. So is the high risk Zinchenko? Is the high risk worth the reward that we're getting then? And should we not?
I think that's an excuse Arteta could be using to keep using it, because I think he likes what he does when we have the ball, or the way he inverts and the way he links up with the midfield and provides that extra man in midfield when we have the ball. I think he likes that so much. He thinks that's worth the risk. I don't think he is. I think he's much more of a liability than what we're getting out of him. I don't think the risk is worth the reward, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think we get enough out of him when we have the ball than what we lack and all the chances he gives the other teams when we don't have the ball. So for me, I'd rather be a bit more stable with keeping it there, and again let the attacking boys do the attacking. Zinchenko is definitely our weak spot, very much so our weak spot. We see that every game, and but at the moment it's working in our favour, because some of the chances he gives away are not being scored on. We was lucky again yesterday. There were 2 chances that they could have scored on that were directly from him. Again, we have these monsters in defence, Saliba and Gabriel, supported by Rice. We're so lucky to have them who shore up our defence despite of Zinchenko. So, for me, I don't want to see Zinchenko really in the team, especially if we're playing a top side. If we're playing a Liverpool or a Man United or a Newcastle or a Manchester City, I don't want to see him in the side.
Yeah, true.
I thought you said top sides there. You said you threw in Man United.
Yeah, I know.
Man United in there.
But Man United will put up a fast player like a Rashford against him, and he's done for, isn't he?
Fair. As Melvin said, Zinni's not a left back, unreliable, but a great footballer.
Exactly.
And listen, we all could see this. If we can see it.
Saw that. As soon as that line. Sorry, I just want to finish one last thing. As soon as that lineup came out, everybody said the same thing. I said the same thing. Everybody said that Salah is going to have a field day, because Zinchenko against Salah is a huge mismatch, and it happened. He scored an easy goal. Zinchenko was absolutely laughable in that phase of play there against Salah.
Yeah.
My last point in Zinchenko is that I find it very telling that there's been ample opportunity where we have had Kieran Tierney and Kivior. We've had other options at left back, and we've had a problem in the midfield where we were trying to figure out, the departure of Xhaka, and he has never experimented and put Zinchenko in the midfield in the starting lineup. He's never done it.
He doesn't see him as a midfielder.
Never does it. And I just think, even though that people say, well, he's a midfielder, he plays there for his national team and he's great in the midfield, then why have we never put him in midfield and had someone else at left back when we've had the options to do that?
No,
he's never gone for it.
Very valid and reasonable questions there, Stan. And I've asked myself the same questions as well. There's been chances when we maybe could have had Zinchenko in midfield, give him a chance in midfield, let someone else do the defensive job. And you're dead right. For me, we can't have him in defence. He's too much of a liability. You saw it on crosses as well. There were several crosses that came over, and he was just well out of position. You know, the guys, he can't defend.
Yeah, listen, there's a couple of things even for that goal. He's dropped for that ball that Trent, everybody's ogling Trent for that ball over the top, right? But Zinchenko is 3 or 4 yards past our offensive line.
Yeah.
He's not in line. He's not in line with our center backs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's dropped so deep, the ball goes over his head. And then why on earth did he show him or allow him to come inside onto his left foot and not show him down the line where Salah would have to use his right foot to cross the ball to, you know, Diaz or Nunez, who have not been performing at the same level. Talked about this on the Thursday night forum as well, Stan. Why did we not build up Kivior? Go ahead.
I just wondered what Tom thought as well, because, you know, he's outside pair of eyes. You know, maybe he hears us talking about these situations and just think, you know, you got too much luxury as it is. You're bickering over something that doesn't need fixing. Do you know what I mean? Or do you see that there is a problem there?
It's true to an extent. I can understand that the emotions of the situation, like if my team conceded a goal and it was by the perceived weak link in the team, I'm not going to be sitting there being rational about it at 5:48 on Saturday afternoon when it's actually happening. I'm going to be like, replace this motherfucker right now, kind of thing. But when you're divorced from the match a bit, and you sit there and you think like, you're going to find that most teams find that their weak link is their left back. Like, for example, Leeds United have not had a good left back since Ian Hart. So it's a problem position for a lot of teams because most human beings are not left-footed.
Left-footed, yeah.
For a start. And then finding one that is, and then finding one that's good is even more difficult. It's like our England couldn't, I know this is a bit of a tangent, our England always had left-winger problem. And then people were going like, put Steve Guppy in the team. What, because he's left-footed?
Or Darren Anderton.
Steve Guppy. What a name for what a blast.
Darren Anderton.
Good old Darren Anderton. Yeah. No,
Sharon Anderton.
No, I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, Kiwi. I don't know, just give Kiwi. But the interesting thing is Tierney though, because he must have really not rated Tierney because he gave him so few chances, and as soon as the chance came to get him out away on loan, he took it. He must have not rated Tierney at all because right now, for me, from what I remember, Tierney again, you have to have him fully fit. That's the problem. Tierney was very rarely fully fit. That was the big problem. The guy was breaking down all the time like a Land Rover.
Yeah. He is fit and playing with Real Sociedad again. I don't know.
No, he's been injured. He's been injured again there, hasn't he? And all of that. But the thing is, I was going to say a fully fit Tierney.
I saw him on the field last week in the Champions League.
Yeah, but I think he has had injuries and that, but he's probably back again now. But I was going to say,
we sent him off on loan so that we could free up a treatment table because we need one. It's going to be on it all season, so we can use theirs.
Listen, I think the criticism of Mikel Arteta is valid in this situation because you have a ledger, a debit or credit. Back to your old commerce days in school, right? Is Zinchenko giving enough? Is he giving more credit than debit? Is that it, right? Right.
Yeah.
So, is he giving you more than is being taken out of the bank? You know,
definitely not. Thought on your left back situation, just while it's here, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. I think it's not just an art. Like to go further on, I don't think it's just an Arsenal thing. Yeah. A lot of teams, especially elite, that try to play progressive football don't really naturally play left back. They expect your left back to be halfway up the pitch at all times. And then when you're on the defensive, which is very rare based on the fact you are an elite team, then you're like, well, where's our left back? Why is he out of position? It's like, because he's been asked to be fucking holding the left winger's hand.
Sure. Yeah. And to get those 5 lanes up front, you need your left back up there. Listen, there's There's a debate at Liverpool if Trent is right for that team as well, and if he should be a right back or inverting into midfield.
I mean, he's got the same thing. He's the same thing for Liverpool. Trent. He's not so good in defence.
Yeah.
He loses a lot defensively, but he's fantastic, absolutely incrable.
Gives you a lot
when they have the ball. I mean, he's how many assists and goals come through him. So that's why he plays.
Jesus Christ, wasn't it?
And look,
just great pass.
Mikel Arteta cannot be blind to the fact of what is happening when he picks Zinchenko as left back. He knows there's a risk involved with Salah. It's up to the coaching to bring Zinchenko to basic defending. This is Sunday football. You bring the guy to the line. You don't show him inside. You know.
Yeah, it's basic. Danger. It's basic stuff. It's absolutely basic.
Yeah, and look, we talked about this on Thursday Night Forum. Should we have built Kivior up with a few minutes in the previous games, knowing Liverpool away was coming? But those minutes were Aston Villa away, were Brighton at home, and could you risk Kivior?
The last time he played, was it in the Champions League? I think it was.
He played a few minutes as well against Brighton. He's only been getting a few minutes.
Yeah, but I think he played a lot more in the Champions League, and he did well. You know, he had a pretty good games there. I think he's good enough to go into that team against Liverpool and give you a good, solid defensive performance. You don't expect a lot from him going forwards, like I said, but I would rather have him on Salah, showing Salah outside to the touchline, than letting him come inside all the time and just going past you like you're not even there.
Yeah, which is what happened. And to answer Stan's original question, we have it's probably third choice Zinchenko. In this fixture, Tomiyasu would have played if he was fit.
Yeah, Timber, of course.
Timber would have played as well if he was still fit.
I just was saying, if Tierney was fully fit and in our squad, I'd like to have seen what he would have done yesterday. I think he would have. I think it'd been good to see Tierney play a game like yesterday. But anyway,
we only had the choice of Cedric or Kivior as fullbacks.
Cedric.
And yes,
Cedric's like that old Veruca that just never goes, isn't he? You know, just never gonna get rid of him.
Is he your Firpo by any chance?
Yeah, he's our mascot, basically. he's going to mug our mascot and take the costume of Gunnersaurus.
He'll still be around after we're all long gone, man. He'll still be around.
Oh yeah,
he's one of them.
He keeps saying he wants to stay and compete for his place. But
of course he does.
I just think he's cushy on that 80 grand a week. I think that's what it is.
I was literally going to say, I'd stay and compete for my place at 80 grand a week.
Yeah. I know.
I'd fucking compete for Stephen Hawking's wheelchair for 80 grand a week.
And I think in the tactics room, he's sitting on the floor. He doesn't get a seat. You know what I mean? In the tactics room, but he's still there. He's still there. He stows away with the luggage when they go on the bus.
Yeah.
But just talking about Kivior, I do think that, I don't know why, but I just have this inkling that behind the scenes, there's something going on with him more that we might not know about. Because when he first came to us, it wasn't very long. Do you remember there were stories about him being homesick and not being able to settle? Very close to
there could be issues. That's the thing. There could be things we don't know about. Yeah, it's true, Stan.
And then recently, there's been a lot of stories about other teams being interested. Arsenal open to offers in Italy, I think, as well. Some clubs. I think Juventus might be one of them. But these stories aren't going away, and it sounds like Arsenal aren't trying to quash any stories like that. That their ears are open. So maybe it just hasn't worked out for him. Maybe I'm totally wrong, and I'm just being like too much of a Sherlock Holmes. But
something no, you're not wrong, Stan. Something to talk about just at the end of this podcast. We'll talk about January, and Arsenal are right up there on their financial fair play limits. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to get used to some players moving on if we're going to do any business in January, any real business in January. That could be Kivior. That could be Emile Smith-Rowe. That could be Ramsdale. Yeah. You know,
it's elite football, right?
It is, elite right?
Football. No room for sentimentality for winners.
Mm-hmm. It could be Cedric.
Oh, please move him on.
No, you're right, Tom. There are some players that are passengers, you know, in this squad right now, and for us to go on three fronts in Europe, FA Cup, and the league, we may need to fill a couple of other spots with warmer bodies than the warm bodies we already have. You know,
one thing I hate in football, one thing I absolutely despise, and this should have been one of my grievances on Friday night on the stoop. I hate the mentality of a player who's not getting in the team, but people are like, "Oh, but he's good for the dressing room."
yeah.
Why can't you be good for the dressing room, but be a fucking first team footballer?
Yeah.
Why can't both things be? They're not incompatible.
You need a manager to play that player then in cup competitions. You need El Neni to get some FA Cup minutes, you know?
Yeah.
We need El Neni to play in some Premier League games. When we're winning 2-0, bring El Neni in.
Oh.
Keep
I was
him
reading-
on.
Neni.
I was reading.
El
sorry,
Neni.
but-
Yeah, if not, just give him a court jester's outfit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was reading.
Yeah.
We
Do
won't
they
see
do them
him
in? Do they do them in Patrick Bamford's size
all sizes. All
and
sizes.
Luke Ayling?
Just
Sorry,
Quite
I've got a
handy though,
list. I've got
because
a
I
list of
understand that
them.
Mohamed El Neni can actually play the lute as well. So you know,
I understand that Patrick Bamford is playing Elf in Elf 2. Coming to the movie.
He's also playing Eminem on in a tribute band. If you've seen his haircut,
Oh crap!
Oh
Okay.
he
god.
looks ridiculous.
We won't.
Absolutely.
and he's also appearing
it's
as Widow
astonishing.
Planky at the
Just wanna
Avon
say-
Centre in Cambridge.
Just want to say one last thing about El Neni. I was reading. I don't know if it's true or not, but I was reading an article somewhere. I can't remember which source it was, but apparently he's planning on taking his coaching badges and he wants to stay at Arsenal. Apparently, he wants to stay
About
at
that.
Arsenal and do some youth coaching and stuff. So he loves Arsenal. He absolutely worships Arsenal.
Let him hang up. He's probably going to hang up his boots at the end of the season, and you know, be part of that coaching setup. Do some coaching
Oh, yeah, he could be the
with the-
sideways passing coach.
academy. Yeah. He does a little bit of that forward stuff as well.
I'll tell
Dan.
you who you should go in for.
There's a time and a place for a sideways pass, and El Neni will show you where.
Yeah. Sideways. Tom.
Then again, though, I always remember that screamer at Barcelona. Woo! Remember that?
There you
that
go.
was a good goal. Yeah.
Nearly scored at PSV. Tom.
Speaking of Barcelona, BX made a comment about Barcelona having a fire sale because mysteriously they're running out of they're running out of
Ferran Torres,
economic
right?
levers, as they call it. Running out of them, like they're going. So within about 4 years, they're going to be or have all their TV rights money for the next 4 billion years, basically gone. Right. So you should take advantage of that, and you should put a call in and just basically go. So, Rafina, you fancy coming back to England?
Yeah.
I think Barcelona, they're so huge, right? They are so huge. There's so much money they get commercially, as well as all the Spanish TV money and all that. But I think Barcelona are struggling with FFP, and I think they're also struggling with the fact that they've actually got, even though I know it's not as big for them as for other clubs, but they do have a lot of debt now, especially with a lot of the debt they're taking on with their new stadium. Yep. So they've got a lot of debt to pay off as well. So I think they're actually feeling it a bit behind the scenes.
We won't see.
I think Barcelona missed out on a trick as well because they went through their financial problems. And do you remember Messi was up when Messi was crying on the stage saying that he couldn't play for them anymore because they couldn't afford him, and he was crying. He had that big handkerchief, and I thought to myself, no, someone's missing a trick here. Surely that handkerchief now with Messi's tears in, you could sell that on eBay and probably get the club out of financial trouble.
Yeah. Probably like
there'd be some
crowd of Barcelona.
There'd be a cretin in his basement who happens to be on the cusp of a fortune, who would then lever that fortune against the handkerchief.
I want
with
that
God's tears.
But BX mentioning De Jong there. De Jong, my God, imagine having him instead of Partey. Bloody hell, what a player.
Mucho dinero. Mucho dinero. But, if we're in the conversation for an Mbappe.
If we got De Jong and Tony, it would be good night, Premier League. Good night.
Osman and Tony, exactly.
I will say though, I can't wait until this Super League gets up and running, so we get to watch Real Madrid and Barcelona play each other every weekend. It's going to be amazing. It's just going to be. It's just going to fix all their troubles. Yeah.
Ready said we won't see Timber back until March. We need to get cover in January.
We're not going to blow a player for 2 months. Come on.
No, I don't think we're going to get cover for.
We're going to have to put up with what we have until he comes back.
I agree. Cedric is having a testimonial.
Barcelona playing Real Madrid 24/7 with rotating players.
Yeah,
you can go to bed, go to sleep, get back up, turn the TV on, and they're still playing.
Yeah,
there's rotating players.
Be like the Le Mans. Le Mans in racing just keeps going all day.
It'll be worse than that, Sam. It will be football's equivalent of the Harlem Globetrotters with like the same exhibition players playing each other all the time. Just going on tour. Oh, it's Barcelona versus Real Madrid in Dubai. Yeah. And then the next day it's Real Madrid versus Barcelona in Miami. And it'll be like, this got boring after like the first 4 times you played each other in the last 2 weeks.
I think we're already reaching saturation point when it comes to the amount of football and the injuries we're getting now from a lot of teams are as a result, I think, of the World Cup last season. And
what about
internationals?
I think about what about next season, right? We've got the Euros this summer.
Yep.
And then next season we've got all those extra games in the Champions League now.
Champions League, yeah.
I mean,
that Champions League format is great.
What?
That Champions League format is great.
I'm just saying.
Tell you
all the extra games.
It's an extra 2 games. You'll be playing Champions League matches in January. That's how it works. For context, I've played it out on Football Manager, so I know the rules of this thing. But when it actually happens in real life, you're all going to love it. Okay. It seems really shit. It seems really shit on the surface.
Why am I always guarded
when you'll love it?
I'm always guarded when you say things because I'm trying to detect your sarcasm or not.
Oh, no, I'll never give that away. But in seriousness, because it seems like you feel like, you play each other, you play 8 of the 36 teams, and it'd be like you don't play home and away, you'll just play them once. And things like that is obviously not going to look good. But when it comes down to match day 8, and then you've got this league table of 36 teams literally changing up and down based on all the results, then it's going to be exciting.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Reddy hates it.
Of course he does.
The new format. We will soon play 2 games every day. I thought it was every week. I thought it was every week, every day, Melvin.
If you don't mind, I will dip out in about 5 minutes.
Not at all. You've got to go prepare. You have to finish some preparations, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've just got around
34 minutes and 2 seconds. Is El Neni out injured again? He was on the bench yesterday.
I've got to do a costume change as well.
So go when you got to go.
Honor of podcasting.
We wish you well. Go
put your makeup on.
El Neni has recently opened his own academy club as well, El Neni FC. Brownie's in the house.
Merry Christmas, Brownie. Merry Christmas, Brownie.
Thankful that you are going to be eating turkey.
Yes,
this Christmas, Brownie. I don't know what Christmas was like for you last year, but probably you didn't have turkey.
Probably a bit grim. Leave it there.
It would have been a bit grim.
All I'm going to say is, I bet it was where Brownie was. It was lacking tinsel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Bring back the old European Cup. Only the winner of each league plays in the tournament. But then you wouldn't make money. No one would make money.
No,
you know.
I can tell you all now. If you actually look back at the old European Cup format and you see some of the matches that occur, you would be crying out for like, let's get some quality in here. Because when you see like Nottm Forest win the European Cup, and like they're playing Malmo and Lyn Oslo and teams like this, and you're sitting there like, where's Real Madrid? Where's Barcelona? Like, it's actually possible to become European champions and not beat a fucking name.
Tom, has it become more difficult over the years to win the European Cup, the Champions League?
Oh yeah, of course,
it's more difficult now. Yeah, Stan,
I half agree, and in that we should keep it as the Champions League, the format that we have, but just change the name. it's calling it the Champions League when you can get in it in the 5th place. For me, is ridiculous. You're not a champion, so call it the European Cup, but keep the format what we have. Just change the name because call it
European Qualifiers Cup.
They'll call it the top 25% because that's usually who's in it.
True. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Okay. David Raya. It sort of died down, this goalkeeper talk, right? So he had a decent game.
I'm starting to have nightmares over Monday.
Goalkeepers, yeah. I forgot about
Tom's favourite segment.
No, my real hatred of it more stemmed from the fact that I had Spencer in the private chat going, Tom, get off of Arsenal, get onto the Christmas stuff, And I was like, all right, we'll get onto the Christmas stuff. So I managed to shift off of Arsenal onto what Spencer would talk about as in Christmas stuff. And then the Assemble popped up with a question about goalkeeper.
Yeah,
that was it.
As he would.
Hey,
and then my internet was like, "That's it, I'm going home," and it was finished.
Respect. You got to respect the chat box. You know.
Yeah.
The people in the chat box are just, for me anyway, just as important as us up here up front. So you got to go where you're.
They're so important. You take 49 minutes to bring it up.
I was enjoying the goalkeeper chat.
No, but we get there. I get there in the end, Tom.
I was even bringing up Mark Poom. I was even bringing up Mark Poom in the comments.
If you can go for 49 minutes, you're good, Tom.
No problem. Mark Poom was great. I was sitting there thinking, all right, I internally I'm laughing in 1998. But all
right.
Estonia's number one.
Are we steering away from the goalkeeper or staying on it? You tell me.
Tell us. Can we just touch on it in the sense that a lot of people were saying that with Salah's goal, there were some people when I was looking in the chats and whatever was saying that, even Warwick Davis would have got a hand to that. Do you know what I mean?
He'd have to be standing on Princess Leia's head to do that.
Basically, a lot of people felt that Raya could have done better in that situation. I'm not so sure personally.
No, he of the tight angle into the top of the top corner.
He's not saving that. Come on, it's a rocket.
Yeah, devil's advocate. I know, but yeah,
I agree. I agree.
Great movie.
Zinchenko,
not really.
Zinchenko showed him inside Gabriel. Gabriel wasn't close enough to Zinchenko, so I blame Gabriel. Knowing who Zinchenko
I don't even think Reed Richards would have got to that. So
that's
for you fantastic four fans out there.
And Liverpool fans might as well have been catching that ball in the stand because Salah is not always laser. It's not always a laser with Salah. He needs about 6 of those things to get one. You know what I mean? So talk about efficiency. Liverpool had been shooting a lot against their opponents. We limited them to a few chances, But yeah, defensively, the Warrior and Gabriel scored the goal for us. Anyone thought they were going to find the way? Tom, go ahead. Yeah, first.
Before I go, I was just going to ask you a question because it just had in my head based on what Brownie was saying about Randerson being the worst loan I've ever seen at Cardiff.
They dropped them.
I remember him from his performance in the Carabao Cup, Arsenal versus Man City. It's so bad, I actually remember it. I think you lost 4-1. And it was down to his goalkeeping, I think it's fair to say. Anyway, do you think Randerson is a good argument for not having a substitute goalkeeper in your lineup? Because you've only got a certain amount of spots. And could it be more? Because how often do goalkeepers actually get injured? So is it more beneficial to actually have an outfield player in the spot?
Is that a real question?
It's a genuine question.
You have 9 subs. You can bring 9 subs to the bench, and you're going to use 5 of them. So why not have?
The only way that I can answer that is I remember years and years and years ago playing. I think maybe Championship Manager. I think it was maybe the first one that come out, and I used to just play with all players on the bench. I used to think, fuck that shit, put another fucking goalkeeper on there. And you know what happened, didn't you? My goalkeeper fucking got injured or something in the game. It just totally fucked everything up. Yeah. I was just like, what?
So you need your keeper, right?
And I always remember that Chelsea game. Do you remember that Chelsea game where their keeper went off because he hurt his head, and then they brought in their second goalkeeper, and then he went off because he hurt his neck? Do you remember that?
I remember a Chelsea
goalkeepers that were quite good.
Yeah. I remember a Chelsea goalkeeper refusing to come on in a cup final, right? Or come off in the final.
Kepka.
I'd love it if I spent 72 million on a goalkeeper who then decided to start telling me what to do. That'd be brilliant.
No, I'm good. I got this.
I'm all right.
Trust me.
To me, but to play devil's advocate, sorry, Stan, I'm just going to bother you again for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going to take one of his cards. Sorry, take one of his cards. If I had paid 72 million goalkeeper, like, all right, if you want to stay on, that's absolutely fine. But you're now also the head groundsman. You're now the boss of catering because I've paid 72 million for you. So you're not just a goalkeeper, mate. I want to get value for money.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a list of your duties. But anyway,
don't forget to take the
I
kits
better
on.
bow out because
go. Yeah,
I suppose it's neglectful of me to not finish setting up my own show.
No, you should. You need your show to be flashy.
Yeah,
go add some more flash.
It's going to be flashy. There's going to be flashes, but not flashing because
thanks for joining, Tom. Have a great Christmas. Okay.
Happy Christmas, Tom.
Yeah. Thank you, Stan. I'd just like to say to everyone, just quick, like, have a good Christmas. I hope whatever you want to happen tomorrow, hope it goes to plan. I think that's the fairest way to put it. I think you're all a bit too. I think you're all a bit too old for me to ask. Like, you get what you want of Santa, but you know, just
there's no Santa.
I never said there's no Santa. I just said you might be a bit too old for me to say. I hope you get what you want of Santa. That's between you and Santa. But
all right. This is longer than my outros.
Of course, but never.
I'm never too old. I'm actually hoping for a Ultimate Warrior special edition with all of the fixtures that come with it. So there you go.
See,
I'm 55.
Hoping for what Santa doing a favour, and I hope he does him a favour. So have a good Christmas, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, Tom.
If you've got nothing to do at 9, pop over to Ill Love Leeds, where I'm going to be roasting the absolute fuck out of Ipswich and Manchester United, and Everton, and Tottenham, and Chelsea.
Everton.
And
that
Liverpool.
Could be worth a watch. I do enjoy seeing Manchester United get roasted, so you may have my attention.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it at the moment.
Looks like Cardiff didn't get what they wanted for Christmas in Runnerson. I
don't care what Cardiff want.
If it's not our fault if we were able to offload Runnerson, it's your fault that Cardiff picked them up. You know what I mean?
Can I just say, right, before we move on too quickly, I'm really enjoying Man United at the moment. I look for post-match interviews and stuff. You know, people like the pundits talking about it, and I can't get enough of it. And
isn't it getting a little bit sad?
I love Ten Hag's interviews the most. I'm hanging off every single word. You know, it was good. We stick to the plan. What fucking plan? There is no fucking plan. So he ever says, we stick to the plan. We move together. I love listening to it. He just looks like you can literally every time he talks, you can see the noose above him coming lower and lower. And I'm just about to put it around his neck.
And he contradicts himself every week. Every week he says something. He says something, opposite of what he said the previous week. Oh, it's lovely.
Right.
And their problems are not going to go away very quickly. I think that they can change the manager to fucking anyone else, and it's still not going to help. There's more going in that club that needs to be done.
I think as Arsenal fans, and we have seen it most recently. We've seen it most recently in the 5 years that we've been doing this podcast. Emery was not the problem maybe at Arsenal. It was the structure. It was the players at the club at the time.
I was looking at stats, right? You've got Højlund through the middle, right? And you've got on one side of him, you've got like Garnacho, you've got also Anthony. And the stat was like, so far this season, Anthony's only passed to Højlund 8 times. And the pundit was saying that he should be doing that per game. And that's the problem. Garnacho's only passed him 5 times.
Van Joran Eriksson. It was a Dutch accent, right? Yeah, look, they are in the shambles, and long may it continue.
I was doing Fabio
It's not
Capello.
up to me. It's not up to me to tell Manchester United how to run their club. Keep doing what you're doing, as far as I'm concerned.
Brilliant.
And I mean, if Arsenal have have risen from 8th to 5th to 2nd to God knows where this season, some other team has to filter down into the depths of the Premier League, and that's
like
Chelsea. That's Chelsea, and that's United as well right now. So long may that continue well. I actually probably hate Chelsea more than United.
I'll tell you what, I out of the two at the moment, I mean, yeah, I absolutely love to see United down in the ditches and the mud, but right now Chelsea even more so, because they were so cocky 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they started buying up all these players and all that. They're like, yeah, there we go, here we go.
Mudryk,
Graham Potter, and we got this, we got that. And they'd recently just won the Champions League. Was it 3 years ago? And they were like, yes, this is it. We're on the way. We're on the way now. And since then, they've just gone completely downhill. And a lot of those fans have just disappeared now. They've just completely disappeared. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
Reddy thinks that that'll be an interesting game. United and Villa. You got some villains and some characters, not just villains because they're Aston Villa. You got Emi Martinez in there. You got a few other heads in there that we don't like from this Villa team. And you've got some Man United players, as mentioned by Stan and Anthony. Chelsea United need to clean out the bad eggs. It's too easy for their players to down tools and get rid of the managers. I love the comment and I love the name. Steve Denham is back with us. Good to see you, Steve.
Yeah, Steve Denham. I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, not for a while. I don't know if you want to take that challenge there, Stan.
Merry Christmas.
What's that? A request? He wants me.
It's a request.
Well, yes, I want to, I want to fuck Ulrika. And
there you go. In a Ten Hag's Van accent. I've always hated United more than the Spuds. How about that? Coming back to Arsenal real quick, because we probably should wind up in the next few minutes. Be respectful of Tom and get people over there. Sam, Gabriel scoring that header. It's about time one of our center backs came up trumps again, scoring a goal. And were you worried that they were going to find a line somewhere?
Yeah. As soon as they show that, that they're looking for whether it's offside or not, when they start showing that, they're going to find a way of finding it offside. It's going to be his left earlobe or something like that. It's going to be his kneecap. Yeah, he's going to be offside. And even though it looked, at the first glance, it looked onside. It did. You could see there that the Liverpool defender was slightly ahead of Gabriel, but you just know they're always trying to find some way of getting out of it. But no, they couldn't, obviously. So I was very relieved, because it's happened so many times this season. Not just our goals, but every game you watch, it's like you can't really celebrate goals anymore. It's ruined it completely because it goes through. They don't just check one little thing now. They spend 5 minutes checking every goal now. Checking every tiny little thing. What could it be? Is the goalkeeper hiding a marshmallow by the left goalpost? Is what's his name? He's got something in his shorts he shouldn't have. It's they're trying to find any old reason to disallow a goal now, and it just ruins it completely.
Yeah.
Should be the other way, really. The game should be about goals.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Not constantly trying to cancel them out.
You can't. There's that natural, spontaneous reaction now. It's ruined, because you of course you naturally react. You're like, oh yeah, we scored a goal, but then you go, oh fuck.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Yeah.
You have to wait 5 minutes now to see if that is a goal.
Is it? Can we?
That's why Reddy hesitated when Rice. You should be able to enjoy Rice scoring in the 97th minute.
I was so waiting for that to be chalked off. Yeah. that last gasp winner, because you just know that's a typical goal they would chalk off.
Yeah.
I was so pleased to see that, count.
definitely.
Yeah.
But our players played that perfectly. We played beyond the Liverpool line. Just
Yeah.
about Odegaard was about.
We are very good. We are very good at that position of the field. When we have a free kick from that position, about 35 yards out on each side of the pitch, there,
Yeah,
we are really good at timing those runs in there. We do really well with that.
we got that quality there, and if we're less expansive and not scoring goals from open play, we're scoring more from corner kicks and free kicks.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well with the set pieces.
The Nicholas Jover is continuing to do good things. Arsenal should go back to front post flick-ons.
Oh yeah, remember that? The old flick-on.
Get goals. Well fast, didn't it?
Yeah, it did work well. The old flick-on.
We perfected that to a fine art. Stan, is that the Sean Dyche replacement? I think that's just the Ulrika Ten Hag's fan.
I think it's Sean hasn't been around for a while, but I think he's going to be. He's doing very well with Everton. I'm sure he's going to want to come on here and boast at some point about how well he's doing.
I saw a movie on Netflix, and Sean Dyche has like a 2-second. He's got one decibel in The Bank of Dave. It's called. It's a Netflix movie called The Bank of Dave.
Yeah, that's a good film, actually. Yeah,
it's all about Burnley. Sean Dyche is in it for like 2 seconds. Yeah,
has he got old performance with him?
They have like a concert at Burnley at Turf Moor. I won't ruin it for anyone, but it's a nice, decent watch. You know what I mean? Yeah. So listen, we'll wind it up pretty soon. Anyone else want to say some things? Arsenal. I will say, if you remember Declan Rice and those 5 players charging him down. Remember this in May, because I actually think I feel very confident we can go on and win this thing. And the huge point swing between losing this game and drawing the game, respectively, between Liverpool and Arsenal, I think that'll show up at the end of the season. They will look back on that miss from Trent, and maybe they'll crow on about the handball from Odegaard, but I think that's a huge points swing for us at the end of the day. And look, Declan Rice didn't stop it, but I think he made Salah pass the ball to Trent, and we got away with it there as well. And first team to 40 points. We're almost halfway through the season. A sloppy pitch. Declan Rice is always available, and we don't usually give too many chances away. This Arsenal team away from home. So there you go. I'm gonna leave it at that. Anything else to talk about? Anything else to mention? I'll give you a chance to give your outros. We are the Christmas number 1. We're gonna win the league, and fear no one. There you go.
Wham.
Wham! That could be the Christmas number 1.
Yeah.
Now,
so for
Merry
me,
Christmas, you filthy animals! Merry Christmas.
So for me, I'm glad that we're finishing Christmas like we did last year in the number 1 spot. My only fear about how we're going to do for the rest of the season is our squad depth. In some areas, I think that we're only maybe 1 or 2 injuries away from being in a bad spot. And my biggest fear is probably Saka, because in the back of my mind, they've told us that he's been carrying this injury for a while, and he's always, for me, it feels like he's playing with a target on his back at times. Every time he goes down, I'm always thinking, is this going to be the one that keeps him out for a prolonged period of time? So that's probably my biggest fear about how about winning the league, is about our depth, if you've got enough to carry us through. But I mean, just looking at what we've done so far, where we finished the league for Christmas, the way that we've conducted ourselves in the Champions League as well, our first time back in ages, and we managed to get through that and navigate that really well. I think we're in a really good position. It's going to be exciting to see what happens in January. I think there's going to be lots of outgoings as well. I think we've probably seen the Thomas Partey play his last game for Arsenal. Wouldn't surprise me if he was gone in January and we don't see him play for Arsenal again.
Wow.
Probably Emil Smith-Rowe as well. Emil Smith-Rowe could be another player that we might that could be out the door. Maybe Eddie Nketiah as well, depending on what it is that they want to bring in. So that's what I feel about Arsenal. Good job done so far. I just want to say thank you to Ray for having me on. this year. I know the year's not quite finished, Thursdays and Sundays.
Yeah,
And
we'll
also
be
to
back.
everyone that comes in every week, all the usual suspects that come into the chat box and help make the show what it is. With your interesting banter, people like BX Gunner, Steve Denham, Canterbury, Riddy, Chris Nix, Spencer, Melvin, Brownie, Stefan, Hetherington, Writings, all the usual suspects that come in. I know I probably missed a lot of you out, but thank you all for coming in twice a week. And I just want to wish everybody a really safe and happy Christmas.
One more before you go, Stan. Your favorite Christmas food?
Turkey.
Turkey.
I love turkey.
I like Christmas. I like Christmas
Really
cake
like
with the icing. I like a little bit of Christmas cake with the icing. Not so much pudding. Mince pies. Yeah, mince pies. Sam?
My Christmas food. Oh, I really like Yorkshire pudding. The old Yorkshire pudding. I love that.
Yep. Nice.
All right. Listen, one final thing to leave you with. Last season, we went to Anfield with Granit Xhaka, Partey, Rob Holding, and Ramsdale in the lineup amongst everyone else that played in that game. And this season, we had Havertz and Rice, who are forming a new partnership in midfield. Saliba and David Raya. We didn't have Saliba at Anfield. We still got a point, but it looked a lot like a more controlled point, if you know what I mean. Was a lot of worldies from Ramsdale last season. And financial fair play, we're right up against it. So maybe Ramsdale is going to be sold. Maybe Emile Smith-Rowe is going to be sold, but we'll talk about that a little bit more on Thursday. West Ham prediction, we got to win the game ready against West Ham. I think we will beat them 3-1. We tend to play West Ham around this time of the season. We beat them 3-1. We beat a Declan Rice West Ham 3-1. They're a good side. Kudos is a good side for them. And, we would have liked to have a Kudos in our side, but Bukayo Saka would have taken the majority of minutes in there. Go over to see Tom in about 10 minutes. Stan is going to go over there for some United banter. Man United banter, that is. And thank you for joining me, Stan. Thank you, Sam Greenwood, Lord Greenwood, for joining also.
Always good fun.
Yeah. Listen, thanks to everybody for being here. I know it's a busy time as well. Get your prezzies wrapped up and all that good stuff. Have a great Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We're out of here. Thanks for being here for the last 5 years. And I don't know if it's going to be another 5 years, but we'll see what happens. Take care, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.